the Cowboys, to beat the Baltimore Ravens, have to stop settling for field goals.
Oh, yeah.
Week 1, Brandon Aubrey, 4 field goals. So that's 12 points. Week 2, Brandon Aubrey, 4 field goals. That's 12 points. Let's do some quick math here. How many points did the Cowboys have last week?
19.
So what's 19 take away 12?
Don't do this to us.
7. The
Seven.
offense. Seven.
Seven.
Well, 6 because Aubrey kicked the point after.
Right.
Anyone else other than Brandon Aubrey last week against the Saints scored 6 points.
Yuck.
That's dog, man. That's terrible. And then go back to the Browns game. Brandon Aubrey had how many? 12? How many did the
15 points he had.
Well,
was
15 total with touchdowns. But so what's 33 take away the 12 that he had? 21.
Yep, thank you.
Then take away his other 3.
I'm sitting in. I'm
So
like.
now you're at 18. So Brandon Aubrey, and then take away the 6 that Turpin scored on special teams.
Oof.
What did the offense do? Ball, essentially. In the first 2 games, the offense has not scored touchdowns when the offense needs to score touchdowns. 8 field goals by your kicker in the first 2 weeks, especially in a week where you just got your asses handed to you, is not enough. Think about it on the first 2 drives where the Cowboys settled for field goals. If they get touchdowns in those, at that point, the game stays a lot more manageable going forward, especially into the second half.
Well, I'm really glad because I think that me and you both kind of, and not to single Adam out, I know that he's going to take this bad, but you just went defense, and that was, you did a great job, pat you on the back. But a lot of people have this negative reaction whenever you bring up something about offense. It's like, the defense needs to be fit. And it's like, yes, I know, but that's obvious.
The defense sucked. The defense sucked, and I hope, if I take anything that we've talked about, I hope the defense holds. Like, if we could pick anything of all of our stuff, sure, I would love for Brandon Aubrey to have another forward field goals. Because if we hold Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson to under 135 yards, I think 4 field goals and a touchdown could win.
Well, let's say Carlos Watkins walks in and is
dick out.
Dick in, just like, hey, I think I got a little baby armadillo leg hanging out here.
Like, I'm back.
Is this an armadillo tail?
I'm back.
But let's say that he comes out, does his job super well. There is still this, in my opinion, glaring issue on offense where we are pretty weak outside of...
You're kicking field goals.
We're kicking field goals. We're not able to... We're getting to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like, we're moving from...
Great, you have a kicker that hits every 50-yard field goal, which is amazing.
No,
that's good in a...
But
that's good in a 21-21 game where you get the ball and you need to get to the 40-yard line to win the game.
Yes.
That's amazing. It's not amazing when you get to the 40 or 30-yard line and you're like, oh, well, we're just not good enough to get another 10 yards, so we're going to kick the ball at the start of the game.
I'm just gonna take a knee here. We're gonna bring in Aubrey.
Bring Aubrey.
Aubrey,
we hit the 35. Just bring out Aubrey.
And obviously, we should address the most crucial issues first. So I'm not saying that people are stupid for saying that, but I'm just sometimes shocked by the like pushback where it's like so. Am I shocked? No, I shouldn't say that. That's stupid of me. But it's so focused on, like, we can't talk about anything else until the nose tackles are fixed, and then we can move our conversation to the next issue.
You want to hear a little side story about stopping the run?
Yep.
So Alvin Kamara had how many touchdowns against the Cowboys?
4.
So his record, I think, was 6 or 7 rushing touchdowns.
He's had some amazing games, dude.
Against the Minnesota Vikings 3 or 4 years ago. Guess who the head coach was?
Zimmer.
Don't tell me.
Mike Zimmer.
I got your number, coach.
That's a little side quest. And sometimes that does happen. That happens. Like certain schemes, certain players.
Oh, that's why Mike Zimmer had the deer in the headlights look the whole time.
Yeah,
because he's faced that. He's faced it before.
Yeah, he had PTSD.
He had PTSD from...
It's happening again!
But I think if the Cowboys in the first 2 drives say they somehow scored the 14 points instead of settling for 6, which we saw it against the Browns, and you're like, okay, they still won.
Well, you tell me this. Adam, don't look. Ant, don't look. You've already seen. Oh, well, Cowboys have scored 1 rushing touchdown and 2 reception touchdowns in 3 games. That's 21, directly offensive points.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
3 games or 2 games? 2 games.
2 games. Did I say 3?
I thought you said 3, but
I think he said 3 touchdowns.
Well, 1 rushing, 2 receptions, 3 touchdowns total. 3 pure offensive touchdowns. And they've only scored 4 total with the
Turpin.
return.
So that's what I mean. Aubrey's out there putting in work, and yeah, it's great to have a kicker that can make the kicks. But look what happens when you have to rely on him.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It doesn't work in the postseason. You have to score touchdowns. We've seen the Cowboys when they lost to the Niners in 2020, I want to say 2022, when the Niners only scored 19 points and the Cowboys scored 12.
Yep.
Right? You have to be able to put touchdowns on the board. So relying on a kicker, which is great to have. We love automatic butter Aubrey.
Yeah.
But to beat the Baltimore Ravens this weekend, the Cowboys have to score touchdowns. They have to score on their first drive. I want to see a touchdown on the first drive. They always play better with a lead.
Yep.
Get touchdowns. Don't settle for field goals. That's my number 1 takeaway from the first 2 games.
And luckily the stat that kind of plays in that favor, you and I were talking about it before we went live. Mike McCarthy is he's won after a loss. Mike McCarthy
He's out of
has
his
won.
mind.
He's gone out of his mind, but under the Mike McCarthy area, they've won 10 out of the 11 last games. So after a loss, they've gone on to have a 10-11 record.
I know, and you said it. Did you say it in chat? Or no, sorry, Deffy said it. And maybe you also did. I can't remember, but I saw this post from Deffy. It's weird because I kind of feel the same way. He was like, "Do you feel better about week 3 than you did going into week 2? Like, do you feel more confident?"
I do.
About and it's
know
weird.
What my confidence level goes going into the weeks. People always post. There's like the 8 NFL.com analysts that pick their wins, and this week the Cowboys are the underdogs. Last week, every single NFL analyst picked Cowboys to win. I saw that and I was like, "Oh man, this is
bad mojo."
I hate it." This week, I think 3 of the 8 picked the Cowboys. I saw that. I'm like, okay, I feel better about this game just based off of that. So I've never liked when the Cowboys are the favorites. It just always makes me, even though I got all hyped up last week and I thought we were going to smash the New Orleans Saints, but this week the Cowboys are the underdogs at home. They're the underdogs. So I do like that.